Good morning, y'all. I'm going to be working on my DT project again. I want to make a little pocket here. And I'm going to be using some of that potato netting, potato sack netting. I'm going to be using some pieces of these stencils. These stencils come from Dollar General. I think they're $2 or $3 for these. They're really thin cardboard type paper. And you just punch out the pieces that you want and use the stencils. So here's what it looks like when I punched it out. Here's the piece that's left over. And I'm going to use the piece that's left over. And some junk mail envelope to make a corner pocket. Because I need somewhere to put these little flippy round notebooks that I made. And these would make cute little embellishments to add to pages. And you can make tiny pockets, but I need a little bit of a larger pocket than what this is going to make so that my notebook slides in better. So I have backed some envelope with some book page to make it thicker. And I've inked around my stencil piece with Distress Oxide and Vintage Photo. And I know I want to put this on top of here. And I'm also going to use some of the vegetable netting from that potato sack that I was using just to add a little bit of interest. And I want to make the triangle that I'm going to use for the pocket a little bit larger than the stencil piece itself, which I'm going to look at it again. Measure twice, cut once, right? To be honest, I know I'm going to have to cut this again, but it's okay to have a larger piece in the beginning and, trim that down as you need it. So I'm just going to take a chance and just cut the triangle out and go with it. Now, I'm going to put a piece of the vegetable netting underneath the stencil piece. This piece ends up being a little bit too small, or I feel like it is. It's a little bit fidgety, and I might have a little bit of impatience this morning, so I'm just going to use a larger piece. And then I decide, you know what, it's just going to be easier to go ahead and glue this piece of stencil directly down to the netting first and then cut around it. Again, I'm just using Eileen's tacky glue. You can get this in a lot of places. Dollar Tree, $1.25 Tree has small bottles for $1.25 a piece. That's where I usually get mine. And then I buy one of the large bottles occasionally and refill the smaller bottles with that. Just pressing that glue in a little bit so the netting sticks well. And then I'll cut around this, and it's going to take me a minute to get this into the shape that I want. I decided to trim around the decorative edge because I really want that decorative edge to pop out rather than having the edges of the plastic sticking out, because I just want those edges a little bit more defined. You do you. Now, instead of using vegetable netting, you could use cheesecloth, you could use fabric, you could use lace, you could use another piece of paper. You could use lots of different things. Just take this idea and create what you want with it. And I'm going to go ahead and ink around two of the edges, and I'm not going to ink around the top of the triangle because I know I'm going to have to cut this down a little bit again. So I will ink the top of that after I get the pocket created. I decided just to glue the whole piece on. I left a little bit of an edge where I could see the edge of the envelope underneath. Okay, now I'm going to cut this down again because it's a little bit larger than what I want, which I figured it would be. And so I'm going to kind of straighten my cut and cut it down. This is your reminder to drink some water today. Drink some water. I need some water. That's what's wrong with my voice this morning. Hydrate. Just inked up that top edge now because I'm happy with where this is at. Cutting off some little pieces that were left over from the book page. And I'm going to put a line of glue across the bottom and the side of the triangle to make my pocket. Okay, now I'm going to take my round notebook, decide where I'm going to slide this in out, and I just remembered, oh yeah, I glued that whole piece down, didn't I? It fits in there, but I want it to show up. So I take the back panel and I just slide the back panel down into the pocket. And it almost doubles as an embellishment. And I have some tags from the kit that I'm going to put into this pocket as well. And there we go. I like it. Thanks for watching, you guys. Try to have a good day today. The information for this kit you can find down below.